doing? How are you tonight? This is mid-January 2025, and I have my completed pages for the first half of the month, plus what I'm currently working on here for you tonight. Just wanted to check in first and make sure everybody's okay, and that you've got something cozy going on today. Here in the United States, it's a Sunday. No, Candice. It's a Saturday. I have Saturdays off. I slept 13 hours last night. Yes, I did. Which meant today was largely completely unproductive. And that once used to make me upset. And I would really be negative on myself for doing something like this. Until one of my besties said, what is it that puts this, where did you get this drive to be productive every day? And just the question made me pause and think that, it comes from the way I was brought up. It comes from my dad. It comes from, sort of an American cultural thing that if you're not productive, then you're just sort of lazy. And productive and lazy are not opposites. They're not. The opposite of productive is not productive. It's not lazy. We attach lazy to being not productive, and they aren't a synonym. Being not productive just means I'm not producing anything. Doesn't mean I'm being lazy. Could mean I'm resting. It could mean I'm watching a movie and enjoying myself. It could totally just be enjoying myself. It could be playing with I'm just not making anything or producing anything or working. Doesn't mean I'm lazy. Means maybe I'm doing self-care, like sleeping 13 hours and then taking a day of rest. That's what Saturdays tend to be for me. So yeah, we've got to get that out of our head, that if we're not doing something, movement to doing something, that then we're being lazy. That's a total myth. That's just a tape that runs in our brain that comes from our culture and from our society, and it's actually not true. So let's erase that one. And instead, I spent an entire day resting and talking to you guys on Instagram and listening to radio stories. And I had a very full and very fulfilling day. That's what my day was. So now I get to talk to you some more. I love connecting with you so much and show you some pages I did. I'm going to start with Mythographic Artist Vault. I love this book. I love this book. The paper in this book is a little thicker than regular Mythographic, and the hardback. It's just a joy to work in. The paper takes more. And this month, a group and some buddies and I did the tiger. That was last month. Did the tiger page, and I finished mine. And so this is it. It is, let me look. It's my Albrecht Dürer. I used Albrecht Dürer. I'm feeling a little more confident with them. I've watched many of you guys actually, coloring with them, and I'm feeling a little more confident. I'm getting better. I looked up white tigers, and I wanted to make a white tiger. Now, soon you will see my buddies, and one of them, I did this with 2 other people, and one of them did do a white tiger, and it's gorgeous. But when I looked up images of white tiger, I came across a really light colored tiger. I don't know if it's a hybrid or what, but it looked like this. It had light eyes, and it was sort of white, but kind of went to a cream. And so I used that as an inspiration photo and colored this tiger just like that. And that sort of set the tone for the rest of the page. This went really fast, largely because I left the clouds page white. So that's a lot of not coloring. And then Albrecht Dürer went kind of quickly because, you're using water. So I used kind of a parchment color for the books and different shades of tans and browns. Now, the gold on there, that is my polys, my favorite combination for gold. So I decided I like polys in Mythographics a lot. Well, polychromos are my favorite pencils, so I use them all the time. But, and then this, I wanted to use, I wanted to make it metallic. And for some reason in my head, I was determined to use a metallic pencil. This is 3 different metallic pencils because metallic pencils suck so bad. They're so bad. Why are they so bad? But Faber-Castell makes a, I don't even know if you can buy it anymore, but just sort of a metallic pencil set, separate from the polys, separate from anything else. It's just its own set. And those are the only ones I've really found that have any sheen to them. So I finally settled on those. So those are the topmost layer. But it looks pretty flat just looking at it. With a light, you don't see that shine unless there's something shining off of it. But I kind of wanted to make it look like the tiger was coming out of shininess, you know. It's not very effective in real life. It's much more effective here on camera. So there you go. See, just what I was wanting to have happen. Turned out exactly the way I wanted. These things never turn out like what I think. But am I happy with this? Absolutely. I really like this. This is very different for me, a muted, quiet tone palette. And it's very restful, which is kind of what I needed at the time. And I really liked it. So let me show you my buddies. Now my buddies were Becky Hicks and Amy at Amy Ward Art. Those are those of us that did it, unless I've got that wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's Becky and Amy. So yes, Becky and Amy. Yep. And this one was just so much fun, but wait till you see what they did. We ended up having an orange tiger, a white tiger, and then my in-between tiger. All right, let's look at them. Aren't they fantastic? Those ladies hit it out of the park. They are absolutely gorgeous pages. I'm just blown away. And it was so inspiring that while I was waiting, I was doing something else. And while I was waiting for it to dry, I was looking back at my tiger and I just went, you know, maybe I'll just do another page in here. And I ended up, what did I ended up opening it to? I'm not even sure why I did this, but I just opened it up. Well, good grief. Thought I opened it up to another page. Oh, I did. Here it is. And I started doing this. Now, Becky and I were sort of traveling through this together, but I can't seem to help myself. I just like start another page. And this was a night where I felt like I was kind of brain dead and had decision fatigue going on. And I just wanted to paint a background. And I remembered this pretty pink. It's called Cherry Pink. It's in the Himi gouache set. I have the 112 set. And this cherry pink is really pretty, and so I decided to try it as a background. It's only got one coat, and it needs a second coat, but I was on the fence of whether I wanted to do another coat of cherry pink or something shiny or something. So I started working on the fish just to see. I think this pink was prettier in a smaller amount than it was in large. As a large background, I'm not sure I like it, but I think I would like it better with a second coat. So we'll see. I'll probably end up just going over with another coat of the cherry pink just to really use it, because I really think this color is pretty and I just really want to get to know it. And the fish and everything, this is a combination of Himi gouache with outlining and acrylic paint pens. That's all that's been going on here so far. So that's what I'm working on in Mythographic Artist Vault. I don't think I have anything else scheduled in this book for this month. Okay, Haunted Highrise. Did you all get to see my Haunted Highrise #1 video? Yes, this is a new series I'm doing. I found this and flipped through it, and basically this book is a bunch of murder mysteries. And it has a write-up and then a page to color, and the clues are in both the write-up and in the page. However, there's also red herrings. There's tricks, things that lead you to wrong conclusions in both as well. So you kind of have to like use both the accounting and the page to figure out how the murder happened, if it was a murder, and who did it. So it's very, very cool. And this is the page I colored in this book this month. And there is a whole video on this. This is one's called the Old-Fashioned Murder, an Old-Fashioned Murder. This is my first in this series. I'm just going to work through this book. There are 35 murder mysteries, and these pages are really fun to color. Now in this one, I used, you got to see it on screen, but I used mostly Copics with a little bit of gel pen to take out lines and stuff. But this is done with Copics. Now in the videos, I color in a higher speed and it's voiced over. And you have me talking you through the page and seeing if we can find clues, and you have some music. And then at the end, we reveal the answer. At the end, we look in the back and get the answer, but I give you plenty of time to pause, to stop the video if you want to figure it out on your own, or if you're not yet ready, or what have you. And then I also ask on those to please don't put the answer in the comments, because comments are too easily seen, and a lot of people want to play the game. It's a game that I'm starting here. So yeah, so the clues to the solution are in the page. So it's fun. I zoom in and you get to see all the page, and you can look away while I'm coloring or look back, and I come in and let you know when I'm changing to a different section of the page so you can see the whole page, and then we look at the whole thing all together. It's a fun video. It's not something you have to watch with your eyes glued to the screen. You can color your own thing, or if you have this book, you can color along with me. But I do hope you guys get a chance to see that and give me your constructive feedback. I'd like to hear what you think of this new series I'm starting. The next one we're doing, which I'm not going to say I'm doing this every month, because some of these I will do 2 a month because they're fun. They're a lot of fun for me, and I like coloring them. I have to read that, though. The Vengeful Muse. So that's what we're doing with The Vengeful Muse. And I tell you, I've looked at it, and I can't figure this one out. So this one will be fun. I did figure this one out before I got done, only because I've heard of a crime like this before. So I kind of equated it to that, because I'm a true crime nerd. So if you're a true crime nerd and love murder mysteries and solving things, this is a lot of fun. So this is what we'll be doing next, The Vengeful Muse. So keep an eye out for the Haunted Highrise series, number 2, which will be out soon. So that's another page I did. Okay. In Angela Gonzalez's wonderful book, Sea of Colors, this is such a classic. She has a brand new one out too, and it's mice and other little creatures. It's really cute. You might want to get it. I hate the paper in these books, but the drawings make it totally worth it, so I don't care. Really, I use alcohol markers. And this is a group buddy color with Veronica Dunn 66, my friend Veronica, and Mindy at Coloring with Cats Among Orchids. Oh, sorry to bonk you. And this is what we did, the cat in the boat. Now, bring you in a little closer, because I can't lift this one up very well. It bumps the camera. This is alcohol markers again. That's what I like to base this in. I mean, this paper works great with alcohol markers. And then I have super golden markers, outlining stuff to make everything shiny. I did a lot of super golden markers on this one just because it needed to be shiny. And then this background is eyeshadow. It's actually Kat Von D eyeshadow. A couple of you have commented that when I put eyeshadow or makeup on a page, it's always expensive makeup, like Urban Decay or Kat Von D. That's because I was a big makeup artist, and I loved makeup. I went to beauty school at one time in my 30s, no, 40s, and I bought all the things. I worked for a year at Sephora just to give myself a little break and to connect with people. So I loved makeup, but I haven't worn makeup since I became a nun, and I don't miss it. Every now and then I think it's fun because it's kind of like painting the face, But I still have all that makeup because I spent a fortune on it, and now I've found a way to use it. I can use it in my coloring pages. So it works great. You have to, fix it at the end. I have a spray fixative so it doesn't come off. But yeah, that's a Kat Von D eyeshadow. So isn't that fun? Now, let me show you what my buddies did. So there's a whole group of us. We started out working out in Mythagoria, so I was calling it my Mythagoria group, but it has evolved into a selection of books, because what we found was not everybody had the same Mythagorias. So all of us had Frozen Nightmares, so we've been working on Frozen Nightmares, but we wanted to branch into other Mythagorias, but then we couldn't find, with all the people involved, we couldn't find another book that everybody had. So we decided to create multiple selections, and you can do however many or none that you want to do that month so that everyone can participate. And then it expanded to also the Dark Art series with Francois Gautier, and people are just now starting about adding Robert Allen's books of horror in there as well. So if you like those three series, Dark Arts, the Mythagorias, and then Alan Roberts. Did I say Robert Allen? Alan Roberts stuff, the book of horror stuff with the gorgeous things, which he's got a couple new books coming out, and one of them looks really, really cool. Just let me know, and I can add you to that group. Now, here, I'm going to show you what we did this month in Frozen Nightmares, and this is for February. This was one of the selections that was chosen for February. The other one is out of Vengeful Forest, and it's the Wendigo that's busting through a dream catcher. So I'm going to do both this month. I've chosen to, so I have that one still on my list. I haven't started it yet. But we did this one out of Frozen Nightmares. And this is the skeleton holding a heart. And someone said, you finally figured out the hearts. Well, I just took some red and some purple prismas and squished them together. It's not really very heart-like. I was just like, maybe if I just squish colors together, then it'll look something. At least people could tell it was a heart. This is a beautiful alcohol ink color that I absolutely love, and that's where I started. I'm like, I really want that color in this background, and then I went from there. I used on this one a brand new medium to me, and let me make sure I get the name right. It is, so I have this new thing I'm doing in 2025, which you don't know because I still haven't put that video up. I've had this really cool sparkly, it came in one of my Archer and Olive quarterly subscription boxes. I love this book. It's kind of soft bound with really sparkly moons and stuff. Oh, it's just so neat. But I'm using this to do what? Color combos, but also keep track of pages. Yes. So the mythographic, I'll show you once I get there. Tiger, where is that's what I'm doing right now. Here's the skeleton. So I do it like this. I write down the name of the book and page, try to describe it as best as possible. And if I finished it, I have a box there and the month that I'm doing it, I started it in. And then here this is a pain. I mean, I have to remember, like I'm used to just whipping out colors and going and not stopping and writing them down. But I am here along with putting some of the color in there so I can know what that is. This is so helpful. I can't tell you how many times this has saved my butt already. Because when I walk away from a page, sometimes I come back and I'm like, oh, I missed a spot, and I don't know what that thing is to fill in a spot. So I'm doing this for my bigger pages, not doing it so much for the smaller stuff, the cute stuff, or my color by numbers, although I'm finding I am kind of needing it for my color by numbers too. So in this, I used a brand new pencil I got off of Macari, Spectrum Noir Aqua Blend pencils. I didn't even know they existed, and I got them really cheap, these watercolor pencils. And if there isn't a video on it yet, there will be, because there is a video created, and I can't remember if it's been uploaded yet or not, on what I think about them. But long story short, I think they're great. I don't know where they've been all my life. I just got the floral. The set I got was called Floral. You buy these in sets. So I thought, after I did this pink background, I thought, you know what? This would be really great. So for those pencils. So this is done in watercolor pencils, and it didn't even crinkle the page. That's crazy. I didn't need much water. And I did the crystal effect. That's all one pencil, just done in in thicker or more waterier to make the pigment change. But it's all the same color. It was so easy. It's my new way of doing crystals. Take a watercolor pencil, add different amounts of water, or start in one corner and move up so that the shading is a little different. Then take a white acrylic paint pen and go over the lines and you're done. That's fine by me. And the rest of this is all those pencils. I mean, it's really nice. And then I just did some acrylic paint pen to outline some things, but not everything. It was pretty fast, actually, pretty fast. I love the pink skeleton. I've never made a skeleton that was shaded in pink, and I now love it. I like it better now than the warm grays I usually shade them in. So now I'm going to try shading skeletons and bones in different colors and see what happens. But I really like how this came out. Again, a little bit different than what I usually do, but it was so fun and so just enjoyable. I just really enjoyed this entire page. And a lot of us did this. There are too many for me to show here, but keep an eye out because you're going to be seeing, actually, if I can, depending at the end of the month, I might show the rest of them because there are some fantastic pages and I really want you to see them. You're going to see them come up on Instagram, of course, but there's some of them, the way the crystals were treated. So we'll see, perhaps if how many it turns out to be. If it's not too many, I might show some of them or all of them. Because, dang, this page, everybody really knocked it out of the park. But this was a lot of fun. So let me show you a graphic of what February, these are the pages we've chosen for February. Fiction Kitten made this. She helped organize the selections and then made the graphic. So thank you so much, Kitten. This is really helpful. So these are the 4 pages for February. You can do one or none or all. But if you want to join our group, we have a really good time. So it's just a real chatty group with people who love horror coloring and who are doing specific pages together. So it's not just a general group. It's a group that's doing these pages together. And I believe the Beauty of Horror ones will be added too, since he's coming out with some new books. So that was my page in Mythagoria Frozen Nightmares. Now, there is another one I'm doing in this. I did choose to do the one that is the, that's on that graphic. That is the snowmen chasing the kids. I really want to do that one. We have folks in that group that are finishing this book, so a page from this book will probably be chosen until it's no longer fun to do winter pages. All right, enough talking. What did I do next? Well, next I did another one in the vault. I thought I did. I did one for the Mythographic Scavenger Hunt, which I don't know if you guys are aware that that's going on, but that's a lot of fun and it's a good way to get into your pages. It is hashtag Mythographic Scavenger Hunt 2025. And it's with Rachel Colors Crafts and Julianne Annette Art are the two that put this on. And for this month, it was quite a few different words they used, some having to do with winter. But one of the words they used was keyhole or lock. And so I did this one. Yeah. This was MC. I put a initials by it and I don't even know what it means. But this was, Mythographic. MC is Mythographic. I'm keeping track because Mythographics and Mythagorias are my focus this year. I'm doing a lot of them. So I'm going to be keeping track every month of how many of each of those I've done. And at the end of the year, hopefully I'll be surprised by the amount. But, so this is what I did. This is the Joseph Kattenbang lock page in the vault. And I've got some sparkly, of course, super golden markers. What else would they be? I love them so much. Yep, there's some pretty stuff in there. This is a lot of pencil work. I was surprised how much pencil work I did on this. Again, I have my special book here to tell me what I did in it. And that's the fish one, the heart lock. Ink tents. Look at all those ink tenses I used. Woo! glue, and then I used some gel pens, and then some Albert Durs, it looks like. Yeah, so a lot of ink tints. So here we go. This is all ink tints mostly, and then with some super goldens to give it definition. Some of those Morandi gel, or those Languo gel pens. Because like when I did the ink tints in these rocks, I hope you can see it. I did various colors, a couple different colors, but it really looked muddy until I put the gel pen in it. And then that defined it, made it look like rocks. So I love those gel pens. They dry a lot lighter than they go on. So they're a lot more muted than they look like when they first go on. At first I was like, oh, that's disappointing that they're not as bright and vibrant as when I put them on. They dry much more muted. However, I found that's perfect because it makes them look more natural. And so they work really well as definition. I use them for definition and shading in these back rocks. I use them for definition in the heart. I like the galaxy in the middle. I use them for definition. Well, down there is super golden markers. Can you see them? Yeah, there you go. Super golden markers. And I thought this was really fun. I'm not sure why I was drawn to it. I think because of the hashtag, and that's what hashtags are for, is when people have a prompt attached to the hashtag, it encourages you to do pages you might not do before. And for some reason, I saw it in these reds. I then went more purple in the around here, and I kind of wished I'd gone purple in here, but I did purple on the interior, and I did her in red to go with her heart. So I think it's fine. Yeah, and ink tints in the background is so fast. I love ink tints. It's just a fast medium. That's the last one I did in the vault. Yes, I am loving that book very, very much. I hope you all have been able to get a whole copy of it because just the paper alone makes it worth it. Okay, let's see what I did next. Let me show you a couple I'm working on. I'm in a group that works on Karolina Kubikowska, and right now we're working mainly out of the Circle of Nature book. A couple of you have joined it recently, so thank you. We're doing the owl page. Well, it's funny. We said we're doing the owl page. It turns out there are two owl pages. So one of our group members did the other owl page. So she ended up choosing to do both. This is close to being finished. I think the owl is pretty much done. I am using ink tints on this and some pencil work with some pencils, some new pencils that I got used for nothing. They threw them into the box. These Koh-i-Noor woodless color pencils. They're very interesting. They're heavy and small. They're coated in lacquer. So they're really hard on the outside. They're lacquer, but they're only pigment. There's no wood. And I've never seen anything like this. Of course, I've seen woodless pencils, but never coated in lacquer. It makes them real heavy. Hear that? Real heavy, but kind of unbreakable. And I'm surprised how much I like them. I did swatch them and everything, so I will show that to you guys, but I used them to do some of the shading in here, and I liked them a lot. They smush, kind of like Prismas do. They're not quite as soft as a Prisma, but they do smush. What I want to finish doing is shading the leaves. Now, let me show you. I had this at work, and I opened it up, and I had this keeping the place, and I was like, you know what? That's a great color palette right there. This is one of Karolina Kubikowska's pieces of art. She sent this with one of her books. And so I'm just copying this, the palette out of this. I made, my owl's a little darker and not quite as glowy. I wanted to make it as glowy as that, but I forgot and did it like I usually do. And then when I looked back, I was like, oh, I shaded the parts that needed to be glowy. So I'll try glowy another day. But I'm going to finish using these colors for the background. But yeah, other than that, it's all ink tints and those pencils for shading. So I'm going to finish that up. That's almost done. My buddies are all finished with theirs, I think. The other one I'm working on is this double page spread. It is so close. Oh my gosh, I did a bunch of work on it since you've seen it. I did all of this. I love the rich, I'm kind of keeping it to a rich, neutral, earth-toned theme. This is the Palace of Marseille, and I want it to be very luxe. And so there's a lot of super golden up in there and a little down in here and some in their clothing. What I have left to do is these 3 girls and this boy and just his skin and hair on him. Now I am paper piecing, and I think I'm going to film me doing this one so you all can see it. And when I do my finished pages, when this one is done, which will hopefully be this month, I'll show that clip so you can see how I'm doing it, because these are paper piece. These aren't colored. That's different kinds of craft of pattern paper that I've used and cut like a paper doll's dress and put together. And I'd like to show you how I did that. I actually kind of figured out kind of an easy way to go. So yeah, I'll show that to you. But I'm really enjoying this. This is sort of an evening winter's ball. It's supposed to be a Marie Antoinette ball, and it can be a Marie Antoinette ball, but I made it in winter. And I thought, I'm really enjoying this. It's taking a while, but it's because I'm working on it intermittently. And this is for Jamie's Coloring Love, her group for this book. The Heritage Travels book, I think is what it is. Well, when I just look, I translated it. World Heritage, a Journey Through Time coloring book. So we're working through this book from front to back. So if you're interested, get a hold of Jamie's Coloring Love. I'll put it's her handle here. And this one just sort of stays out because I work on it periodically. All right, let me show you what I did next. All right, this is the last one I'm going to show you for now, and then the rest, I do have a couple more that were completed, but I'm going to wait on those. They're out of brand new books that I'd like to show you first. So this is the last one I completed in the first half of January of 2025, and yes, you guessed it, it's the farting rainbow deer. Boom! He's so fancy, he farts rainbows and star glitter. So I am doing this with my friend Jody, and I don't think she's finished hers yet, so we'll show this again at the end of the month. But this was so much fun. Now, there was a lot of alteration that happened right in here. For one thing, the deer is drawn as if behind the harp. So I took that away and made the deer in the front. So I just had to kind of connect lines and used acrylic paint so that I could really cover things. So this is all done in acrylic. And so I put him in front of the harp. And then there was some other stuff that I just sort of painted over. And then the rainbow itself was sort of coming through the harp strings and continued down here. But it was so placed in a way that it looked like, if you didn't look at the part that came down to the ground, it looked like the deer was farting it. So I took that out with acrylic paint and then, you know, attached lines, connected lines. So it's right in here somewhere, but it's gone. So I used acrylic paint and drew the harp in where the harp pieces were missing. So I put the deer in the forefront, took out the bottom part of the rainbow that was touching the ground, and suddenly the deer is farting a rainbow. I love this page. I use various acrylics, sometimes different layers of acrylics because I was just playing with color at the time. I was playing with colors I'd never used before. This is an acrylic paint, a shimmery acrylic paint that I'd never used before, so I wanted to test it out. There's just a lot of weird colors, and I tried to keep everything kind of cohesive in peachy orange browns and muted greens, and then so the rainbow was just totally something different and stood way out. Again, it's just all acrylic. And then super golden marker and the silver pen to make the stars. Some of these stars were there. I just put more, and then I added dots for even more. So what do you think about the farting rainbow deer? Did it meet your expectations? I know a lot of you knew I was doing this one. I'm pretty sure Veronica Kolinska did not mean for it to be this. Because the rainbow did continue, but it was just the way it was placed. I couldn't see anything else, so that's what I did. Pew, 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 pew. gosh. All right. So yeah, I think that's my favorite page so far, just because it cracks me up. So those are my completed pages for January. Now I do have, I want to reassure my buddies that I do know that I have got Alien Worlds I'm still working on. Universal Monsters. Oh, I can show you how far I've gotten with that. That's with Paula with Coloring Mom. Now she has finished hers. So here's her page. Is that not gorgeous? We wanted to do, it was my turn to choose. We both love this book. We did the Monster from the Black Lagoon last time we worked out of this book. And so this time I chose this one because I wanted to do something really epic with the sky. Paula really achieved that. The lightning is superb. My lightning never looks natural. I don't know how people do it. And it made me want to add lightning to my sky, but I just don't, I'm afraid I'll screw it up because I got the sky finally finished. So that's what Paula did with hers. And don't you just love the clothing on Frankenstein's monster? I'm kind of stuck on what to do for his clothing, and I like what she did a lot. So thank you, Paula, for budding with me on that. Here, let me reach over and grab it, is what I've done so far. So mostly just, I have based this. This is Albert Durr or something, Inktense something. I have it written down, but I won't bother looking up now. I'll look it up when but all this is oil pastels. Now, it was so messy. That black kept getting everywhere. And the black is Mungio. That's why it's really oily. The green is, I'm using the Arteco, some of the neon green and yellow, but then I was having a really hard time with not getting the black into it. So I was trying to take off pastels and add more, and I was really starting to compromise the paper. So I ended up grabbing the Mungio water-soluble ones and thought, look, we'll do one more treatment on this paper of pastels, and then whatever I've got to stay with. So I used the yellow and green in my water-soluble pastels, and then used water to kind of mix it up and try to get some of the black off that I had gotten on. And it's a little better. I'm not very talented with oil pastels yet, but I knew that would be the fastest way to make really bright colors and color this background. So I did that, and then the ground sort of mirrors the sky, but I learned my lesson with the oil pastels, and because I don't have any workable fixative. All I have is, like at the end when you're done, like permanent fixative, so I can't spray this, so it's still really, that's why I keep messing it up. I decided I couldn't handle doing more oil pastels down here. So I think I can finish this and finish shading that without touching the background anymore, but not so certain I would not touch this. So I used Inktense. In fact, I think I busted into the green in my Inktense paint pan. It's the first time I've used Inktense paint. I really enjoyed it. And the black. And then I took the Kuretake, the one thing I never use, out of this Starry Colors, of which my favorite gold is almost out. I used this white gold that I hardly ever use. And after I did the Inktense and it dried, since ink doesn't move no matter what you put on it, I put that shimmery watercolor on top of that black Inktense. And I like that effect. I got to remember that. It makes kind of a black silver, and I really like it. So it's very messy looking in person. I'm hoping that by creating, shading and properly shading this and then properly doing him, that these two structured pieces will make up for the craziness that's all around that's kind of messy, if these two are not messy. I know some people embrace that messiness. I don't. But it does look like green clouds, doesn't it? I mean, I didn't know what it was. I just knew I wanted black and green. So that's what I've got going so far for this. I will have it done by the end of this month. Yeah, I just am kind of stuck on his clothing. I was thinking more neutrals, blacks and browns is what I was kind of thinking of. I love what Paula did. And Paula and I think my windmill's going to turn out lighter, but we did a lot of it the same. So, but yeah, I can't close that or anything until I fix it. It's a mess. All right, so that's the end of my pages. So let's see what more I'm doing. I'm still working on my dimensions, the B page. That one I know I have due this month. I did my yokai. The Dark Fairies whip that I have, I know. I'm working on that for my group. It's out overdue. I am working on the Pirates double page spread in Neko Neko's Story of Precious Cats. That's a group buddy that includes Amy, with Amy Ward Art. She's the one who asked us to do that. And I'm working on that. That's a 2-month. That's over a 2-month spread. My Anamorphia with the roosters, still in the same place you saw last time. It's almost finished. I know that I have Silent Fright. In Silent Fright, we're doing the Christmas Carol page with Scrooge meeting the ghost of future. A couple people are starting, some of the finished pages are starting to come in, and they're great. So I know I still have to do that one. I'm working on Aries Heritage, working on Alien Worlds, working on Universal Monsters. The Wendigo in Vengeful Forest. I haven't started yet, but it's on my radar. I have a group that's working on Mouse Guard. There's just 4 of us working on Mouse Guard. And I think they've all finished their page for this month, and I'm almost finished. So that will be done. Probably won't get this prompt done. Amy Ward Art has AWA Fabulous freebies for a hashtag. And she has posted... what she's doing is finding freebies on the web that you can find too, and download and print and color with her. And she's got this beautiful page from Lana Green Art on Lana Green Art, www.lanagreenart. It's Lana Green, one of her, it's not a portfolio, it's a whole person, I think, isn't it? Anyway, I have that on my radar I want to do. Did the skeleton. And then it seems like... yeah, the vault. I keep working on the vault. That seems like everything that I've promised everyone. If I didn't mention a page that I promised to do with you, get hold of me, because that means I've overlooked it somewhere. And Matchstick Mouse is going to come out to just remind us all that not doing anything is not being lazy. It is simply self-care and relaxation. We're allowed to relax. Do you know we are the only animals on this planet that don't sleep when we're tired? Every other animal gets tired, it goes to sleep. But we just keep pushing ourselves for productivity. We don't lay down and sleep when we're tired. You know, we have to wait till after 5 o'clock. You know, we're scheduled by a clock, not by our biological bodies. So when you're tired, if you can, just lay down and rest. There's nothing negative about that. It's just being an animal on the planet. And Matchstick Mouse, who loves naps, says, thank you for watching. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.